So, welcome. This is definitely different to what I usually upload on my channel. I usually play a bit of games or make funny tutorials and other gameplay videos. But in this video, it'll be a bit different. Just before we start, I just want to say a few things. This video is a podcast format video, so if you want, you can listen to the video with just audio. This video is about toxicity in gaming, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail. We're going to be talking about toxicity in general, talk about the insecurities and different things, how to deal with toxicity, but mainly focus on girls in gaming and what toxicity they have to experience and that sort of thing. And also, I'll be referring to a couple of TikTok comments. The main reason I'm doing this, I would say, is because of TikTok. This series, or this video that I uploaded that I put into different clips on TikTok, the clips blew up and some of them crazy amount of views. And I guess the people on TikTok have been somewhat trying to expose me in a sense, or saying that since I'm a guy, I don't know what girls actually feel like. The reason this topic interests me so much is because I've never actually seen a girl getting harassed in a game. I've heard a couple girls turn on their mic and also a couple of guys, but I never have I personally seen any game of mine with an instance of toxicity or harassment towards a girl. This being said, I did plenty of research into this topic. In the description of the video, I've included all the links and sources I refer to, and I've listened to each one of these several times to make sure I'm not haven't missed anything. To add even more credibility to this, I have interviewed 4 different girls, 3 online and 1 in real life, about the topic, getting their own personal experience and their thoughts on the issue. In this video, I'll mainly be talking about Valorant, but it does relate to almost every game online. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So what's the reason I'm doing a video like this? I originally uploaded a video on my channel, how to be good at Valorant. It's my most viewed video on my channel, and I decided to make a part 2, and that was called how to actually be good at Valorant. Didn't go as well on YouTube, but it blew up on TikTok, absolutely blew up. One of the clips got 25k views and 3k likes in under 48 hours. The whole reason I'm making this video isn't because of the likes and the views, it's because of the comments. Before I show you some of the comments, I'll show you the clip quickly, and for anyone who's already seen it, feel free to skip over it. Tip number 2, turn on your mic. The amount of people that I play with that don't have a mic disturbs me. You're a gamer and you're playing Valorant on a relatively decent PC. If you have a headset, which some people don't even have that, get a mic. Finding a good headset with a mic is so easy and cheap these days. And on top of all that, if you have a perfectly good mic, fucking comm, hello? I've had so many games where I'm the only one with a mic, comming for everyone else. And then all of a sudden the kid turns on his mic, bro, shut up! It's like, what the fuck? You have a mic? Why are you not using it? Like, kid, I have to speak on the whole team's behalf.
Guys, do you have a mic?
No.
Oh, okay. No problem.
So, to me, this seemed like a very normal tip. There were comments talking about how they are too young and squeakers and feel insecure. Some people just don't feel comfortable with their voice in general, maybe too low, something like that. But the main focus of this video is because of girls not feeling comfortable talking in game because of harassment and toxicity and what comes with that. I don't think it gets enough attention. Obviously, I'm not a big YouTuber and I don't think I'm going to make much of a difference here. I hope at least 1, 2, maybe 5 people. If I get out to 5 people that might change their attitude around this sort of topic, might think a bit differently around it, that's kind of my goal. So, insecurities about your voice. So, this one, you can't change the way your voice sounds. It's just not possible. As you grow older, it may change, depending on your age. Maybe you're 12, you haven't hit puberty yet. Maybe you're even 8 and you're insecure. I mean, if you're 8, come on, man, like, you're fucking small as fuck. And even if you have already gone through puberty, you can't change the way your voice sounds. And, I mean, a lot of people are insecure about their voice. It's just how it is. It is what it is. You get over it. You're going to be a squeaker when you're young. It is what it is. Insecurities about the way you play. So unlike the fact that you can't change the way your voice sounds, you can actually change the way you play. Now, obviously, you don't have to top frag every game. You don't have to be god tier. And sometimes when you are bottom fragging, for example, you're not always the worst player on your team. You don't need, or you shouldn't need to be a top frag, or be playing well, or fragging more than the person who is being toxic to be right in the scenario, right? Thing is, when you get queued up, the game puts you in that lobby for a reason. Unless the matchmaking is literally broken or something. Like Valorant has been having a couple issues like that recently. But the game is putting you into a lobby that's fair for you. That it thinks is fair, at least. Top fragging isn't necessarily an excuse to fight back. Let's say somebody is legit bottom fragging, like 5 kills and you've got 20. Let's say it's that different. Their 5 kills... Honestly, I don't think that should mean anything. Even though, yes, they're probably worse than you. They're probably not as experienced. They probably don't have all this, right? But their argument is still their argument. I think it is what it is. Obviously, if they're calling you trash, then they're just dumb, right? They're just dumb. You can't change that. If they're calling you trash, if they're trying to tell you different things, how to play the game, maybe you can listen to them and implement a couple things, but I mean, they're just idiots if they think they're better than you. Obviously, if they are top fragging, then it still doesn't matter. They can call you trash all you want, but you know that you deserve to be on that lobby. Because I'm like silver. I'm pretty low in Valorant. It's pretty low rank, and you know, at low rank lobbies, like I'm just like people are just shit talking each other, and even I contribute to the shit talk. Like, holy shit, you're so bad. Like when he whiffs a shot like so hard because he's fucking bronze, he can't aim, right? He's playing on a laptop or some shit. People say that's toxic. Like, we all know we suck here, man. Like, we all know we suck. You don't have to get mauled because you think you're good. We're all bronze here. Like, don't freak the fuck out, you know. I don't give a fuck if you're the top of the leaderboard or the bottom of the leaderboard. Just play the game and don't be a dick. That's all it is. Why do you think people are rude or disrespectful? The main reason why people are rude, in my opinion, is because of anonymity. People are anonymous on the internet, so they can say whatever the fuck they want without any repercussions. Some people just crave for a reaction. Maybe they don't feel good enough, smart enough, funny enough. Maybe they have anxiety. They may have loads of obstacles mentally that make it hard for them to play, right? And there's also certain age demographics as well, right? Age, gender, financial status, technically. Certain types of people are going to act differently depending on their position in society and where they believe they belong. At school, for example, there's the cool kids, there's the somewhat cool kids, and then there's just the weirdos, right? The nerds or whatever. Like, there's that social status, in a sense, which is also what happens in-game. For these toxic people, they have their spot. They have this spot in society, and they want to bring people down that are above them, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's not always like this, but it can sometimes be the case. They often strive for some type of reaction, right? As soon as they get that reaction, the way they want or the way they don't want it, they get excited, and it makes them feel even better about what they're doing because you're reacting positively or even negatively to it, right? This is somewhat unrelated, but kind of fits into what we're saying. Stream snipers. If you're familiar with Twitch, you would have already known this, but some streamers rage or get mad when people stream snipe them. So let's say, like, let's just take Fortnite, for example, because people know Fortnite. Battle Royale, right? You queue up at the same time as the streamer, because it's live, right? It's only a couple seconds delay. You queue up, and you get into their game. They're going to drop it wherever place. I don't really know Fortnite. The whole lobby drops there because everyone in the stream has got into that lobby and is now playing with them, right? And they just instantly kill him. Everybody gangs up on him like it's some sort of like war. And like if they do get the final kill, they feel even better because their name comes on the screen. Oh, you died to this person. Like, it's just great. It's a great feeling. And even though these people might actually like the streamer, like watching the streamer, they just like getting a reaction. Technically, stream sniping is not toxic, but it is in a sense. It's hard to explain though. That's kind of another topic. But yeah, seeing their name on stream makes them feel good about themselves, and that's exactly what they want. How can you tell the difference between legitimate criticism versus hate and toxicity? From my perspective, this seems kind of simple. If somebody's telling you that you're bad at the game, or you're a shit player, or something along those lines, they're just being toxic, or they just don't like you for whatever reason. It isn't toxic when they say something, hey, can you do X instead of Y? Can you hold this angle instead of this angle? There's also a combination of both, which you have to look out for. Like, hey, instead of doing X, can you just kill yourself? Like, yeah, I'll do that right now. Like, that's just stupid. So how do people deal with this type of toxicity or harassment? Most of the time, these people know they're being toxic, and they're just fucking you over, and that's their goal. And you don't need to justify your actions to these people. If they say, oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You're so dumb, so stupid. You don't need to prove to them why you did that. You don't need to do anything. They're just dumb. They're just pissed. They might have a bad day even. Maybe they're just getting mad at you for no reason. Like, how do people deal with this? A lot of people in my TikTok comments just say, mute him. Just mute him. Just mute him. There's a mute button for a reason. Like, come on, man. Muting, in my opinion, even though this might be a hot take, but muting, in my opinion, does not solve the problem whatsoever. And realistically, if you do think about it logically, everyone should be agreeing with me. Muting does not prevent them from being toxic. They're going to keep going either way, or maybe they'll stop because you're being silent. I mean, it may solve the issue of you not being able to stand up for yourself and talk to them, which, in my opinion, is the best solution, to stand up, talk, and try and put a bit of sense into them. Obviously, they're not always going to have a lot of sense in them, and you're not going to be able to give that to them, which is unlucky. Yeah, if you don't want to waste your time with them, or if you don't want to spend energy on them, I completely, that's completely fine. But yeah, muting them does not change the fact that they're going to be toxic. They're going to be toxic either way. If you really care about what they're saying, you really know that you're in the right and they're just being idiots, you can talk up and speak for yourself. You can back up your arguments. You can tell them how you really feel, which I think is the best solution, in my opinion. Now we're going to move on to toxicity towards girls in gaming. Before we start all of this, I'll put a couple clips on screen now to show what I'm actually talking about toxicity-wise towards girls, right? It's completely different to what guys experience. Some of it is similar, but it is mostly completely different. So I'll show a couple on screen now.
Shut your bitch ass up. You're a fucking woman. You're fucking objects. Us men only look at you for sex. Us men only look for you as sex, man. Get your ass in the fucking kitchen. You fucking dumb fucking before I fucking you dumb bitch. Don't ever fucking speak on my name again, bitch. Fucking women are fucking beta. You guys are fucking nothing. Nah. Shut up. You're mad that I'm fucking bad, huh? You're mad that you're losing this rank game. Oh, my rank game. Look at me, I'm a woman. Yeah, fuck you, dumbass
Defenders
bitch. I hope you
win.
fucking die. Slit your fucking rib.
Can I have your Snapchat?
The man is trying.
Oh my god, I swear.
I fucking love you.
Please let me have your Snapchat. Guru, can I have your Snapchat? Wait, what's your real name? Is it Amanda? What's your real name? Let me have your Snapchat.
It's probably like a really white bitchy name. You fat fuck bitch. You go back in the kitchen and make me a fucking tuna roll. Fucking
So, make me a sandwich.
Please show me your moldy gamer girl feet. Oh my god, I'm so
Shut up!
Imagine sexually harassing people, like, wow.
Yeah,
Dude, sexual harassment is not a real thing on video games, bro.
I literally don't even know why you're talking to me right now.
Because you're bad at this fucking game and you're a pancake. You can't take internet shit talk, you pussy. Alright, well you're not responding, but can you just give us a fat queef in the mic, please?
Holy shit.
So why do people troll or are toxic once they find out you're a girl? The reason that guys speak up when they hear a girl is because there aren't a lot of girls that are gamers. I know a lot of people in my TikTok comments, I mentioned this last video, a lot of them wanted to disprove me, but I'm going to disprove you all right now. Even though statistically girls make up approximately 46% of all gamers, this number is much lower when talking about multiplayer or online FPS. I know some people in my TikTok wanted to argue that there is actually just as many girls as guys in games, which I can completely agree with, but only if you put Candy Crush and Farm Simulator into the mix. A lot of girls play those games. Those games have almost 80% of the player base is female. So when you say 46% of all gamers are girls, it's kind of... It's not super relative to just online multiplayer games that we're talking about mostly. For what we're talking about FPS and maybe also MMOs that show that 36% of the MMO player base is actually also female. So to tie that all back to the main question, why do people troll or are toxic when they find out you're a girl? Guys are usually going to speak up when they hear a girl because it doesn't happen very often, right? You don't usually hear a girl in a game. It's just not a usual thing because of the 7% that we were talking about earlier. A lot of guys hear a girl and it's such a strange thing and then it hardly ever happens. And when it does, they have no clue how to react or behave and maybe even sometimes get confused and act completely different to how they usually would and treat the girls like not even human beings because they're just so unfamiliar, right? A lot of people do troll because, they don't like having girls or they don't know how to act. They want to get the girls' attention. And by trolling, they are getting attention from them, maybe following them around inside the game or throwing in a sense by, team killing and whatever else comes with that. I know a lot of guys, and I've seen videos of this, I haven't seen this personally, but I know a lot of guys just throw the game as soon as they hear a girl. It doesn't really make much sense to me. So why is it that when girls make a call out versus a guy making a call out, it's treated differently? So girls are constantly felt as something other. Something different, this foreign being that guys have never seen before. Sometimes it's just that one game with that one guy that doesn't give a fuck about what the girl has to say, yet doesn't have the balls to mute the girl because he secretly actually enjoys having the girl on his team. A lot of girls don't turn on their mic in the first place or aren't even comfortable turning on their mic. Another huge problem that I see is that a lot of guys might be watching this and be like, this isn't me, look at these guys, I'm not them. I mean, I would say most of the guys aren't like this, it's true. But in reality, and in my opinion, a lot of guys actually have no clue that they are part of the problem. I'm sure a small percentage of them actually know what they're doing and are doing that on purpose and really do believe the things that they're saying. A lot of guys do this sort of stuff. Maybe it's on the small end. Maybe they're just nothing too crazy like what I showed earlier. Not to that extent, but maybe just like a little bit of uncomfortable and weirdness, you know? A lot of guys might even not even realize that they're doing it themselves. And a lot of girls feel weird even when, you know, it's like, oh, a girl, oh my god, like that's weird. Yeah, so a lot of guys see this as normal, and maybe they only notice a slight difference in their behavior because they are naturally talking to a girl. But I don't think a lot of guys fully understand what they're doing. But the main reason I say this is because I've never met one of these people in real life, and I don't even think I've met one of these people on the internet that actually talk shit to these girls. I've met plenty of toxic people, believe me. I've had my fair share of toxicity in real life and in games. It happens all the time. But the reason I say this is because it happens more often than you think, and a lot of guys don't realize that they're doing it. I touched on this point in my last video, but do you think girls can't take insults or have softer skin? Now, people on TikTok were all over this. In my interviews with the 4 girls that I talked to, 3 online, as I said, and 1 in person, all of them said that yes, girls are actually more prone to toxicity because they can't take it as well. Even though that sounds like it's a bad thing and you're just kind of generalizing all girls, which I'm not. I'm just saying, for the most part, in my experience and what I've seen online, a lot of girls can't take as much toxicity as guys can because they have maybe softer skin, or they can't, it's something else to it. And even watching videos and watching Twitch streams, they all say the same thing. Most girls would agree with me here. But also at the same time, we have to remember, you can't just say this is just for girls, right? A lot of girls are generally more prone to this toxicity because they can't take it as much. But also, same with guys. A lot of guys, and I'd say especially small boys, maybe below the age of 12, 13, can't really take much toxicity themselves. They're insecure about their voice, they're insecure about the way they play because they don't have a lot of time to play. Their parents restrict them from using the internet. But generally, I would say that girls can't take insults as much as guys. Also, a huge part of this, which I also touched on earlier in the first topic, anonymity. Anonymity, for anyone who doesn't know, is being anonymous or confidential. This honestly plays a huge factor in the first topic, which is insecurities about your voice and how you play and stuff like that, but also for girls. A lot of guys would never say this type of stuff to a girl in real life. There's no way they would do that. Or maybe only like 0.001% of all guys would actually say that, or even half of the stuff that they say. They would completely act different. Most of these guys, in my opinion, from what I've seen, are guys that are just insecure themselves. They're insecure and they're trying to bring the girls down. And the fact that the girl might even be playing as good as them, or better than them in some cases, is insulting to them. And they bring down the girl because of that. And they have a reason, they justify that because it's a girl and girls shouldn't be playing better than me. Guys can be behind a screen and say as much shit as they want, right? They can say anything and be extremely disrespectful and rude and get away with it without almost any repercussions. Maybe they get banned in the game, but that's not really that big of a deal. You can make another account, there's ways around that. Another question that I don't really have the answer to, but maybe people in the comments can help. Think of the typical simp. Now, simp is an overused term, I know, and the definition is thrown around and it's kind of weird at this point, but a typical hot tub stream viewer that gives 5 subs just to have their name written on the chalkboard behind her. I wonder if this person that I just described is the exact same person or very similar people to the people that you see in-game that are toxic. I wonder if these people are the same people or there's a correlation in any way. Share your thoughts in the comments and I'll be interested to hear. Think about this for a sec. Imagine a girl really enjoys a game and she's getting really good at it but is constantly met with assholes that make her feel like shit. She might want to continue playing and eventually even go pro one day, but can't because of the toxicity and the harassment that she experiences in-game. How is she meant to wake up in the morning and be enthusiastic and excited about playing a game where she gets treated differently than everyone else? This is why, in my opinion, there aren't many pro female gamers. You don't see females going pro very often. And obviously there are more males in the competitive gaming community, which is backed up by statistics, but this doesn't account for the fact that there's such a low amount of females that are getting to the pro level of gaming. There's a South Korean girl that goes by the name of Geguri. She's an Overwatch pro, and she was getting really good at the game, and getting to the point where people were saying she was hacking and aimbotting. And she had a bunch of YouTubers make videos and evidence as to why she was hacking, and even through the criticism and all the haters that thought she was fake, she made it onto the pro scene. And it was confirmed that she wasn't cheating all this time, people then started saying that she was only on the team because she's a woman. You guys can take whatever you want from that story, but I think this is really inspirational. First of all, for future women in esports. And it sounds incredibly unfair that people have to constantly justify her being in the esports scene because of the reason that she's a girl. This might be an interesting one that people don't really think about much. There is a stereotype with girls and boys. From a young age, girls are given different toys and gifts. The typical blue or red for boys and the typical purple or pink for girls. There are all these differences, even from a young age, that you learn at maybe 6 or 7 years old, that girls and guys are different. A lot of guys maybe at a young age get like a PS4 or a console or some sort of console, or even like a laptop or something to play games on. And a lot of girls get, what do girls get? I don't know what girls get. Barbie dolls and shit. I don't know. Girls are usually seen as worse because they are generally in the lower bracket of skill. Like, as I said earlier, it's a male-dominated industry. Gaming is just for guys. It just is what it is. So if you're a girl, you're seen as an outsider or seen as other, which is just how it is. You can't really change that. So what do these guys actually expect out of this interaction? This is the part that's actually super funny to me. Like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, the guys that are asking for feet pics, Snapchat, whatever else, they're trying to be toxic and trying to follow them, troll them in-game just because they're a girl. Like, what are they doing? Tell me, please. Like, are they legitimately thinking that they can get, like, an online girlfriend or something similar? Like, that's not gonna happen, buddy. And if you think that's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen if you're doing shit like that. And what makes me even more confused about this whole situation, I see a bunch of idolizing behavior towards the girl, idolizing them for them being a girl, wanting their Snapchat and all that. You wouldn't idolize a guy like that because you think girls are just superior somehow. And then all of a sudden turning to degrading behavior. And this happens one after the other. You see, as soon as they say, no, I'm not going to give you my Snapchat, or I'm not going to do this, they're like, oh, fuck you, you're a fucking bitch, whatever. It's just so confusing to me, honestly. This is the main thing that I can't figure out here. Like, I would really, honestly, like to talk to these guys. Like, really. But the thing is, I don't know any. Who the fuck are these kids? Girls being toxic to other girls. The thing that sucks for these girls, right? Girls feel like they're meant to be all on the same team. That they're all getting shit on by these guys. That's kind of how it feels like. But then when another girl is toxic to another girl, it feels like the same team of people are arguing and being toxic towards each other, which sucks. The girls that are actually toxic, in my opinion, are the ones that actually want attention. This might be a bit of a stretch and might be a hot take, but obviously you can be toxic back towards people. That's something different, right? You can be toxic back towards somebody and it not being a problem. But if you're toxic in the first place, initiating toxicity and harassment or whatever, if you're initiating toxicity towards another girl as a girl, I think you are kind of asking for attention, just like the guys are. And these are the type of people, a lot of girls say they're attention whores, which is fucked. These guys are technically attention whores, right? And these girls that are being toxic to the other girls are also, in my opinion, attention whores, come under the same category. So everyone gets toxicity as a gamer. It's inevitable to happen, but girls also have an extra layer of toxicity, just because they're a girl. Women have 2 hurdles where most guys only have 1. This second hurdle is basically what we're talking about, this sexist and harassment that you receive just because you're a girl. Oftentimes, I hear girls play and get harassed by this one dude. Let's say there's 3 or 4 other guys in the lobby and there's this one girl. And the 3 or 4 guys are listening to this toxicity, harassment, and he's just plowing into this girl, right? Just fucking going in. And she can't defend herself. And the 3 or 4 guys are just sitting there listening. In my opinion, the 3 or 4 guys are also extremely at fault here. The guy that's putting it on the girl and initiating toxicity isn't 100% at fault. In my opinion, the 3 and 4 people that are in the lobby as well are just pussies, and they're not attempting to stop the issue whatsoever. In a sense, validates his behavior. A lot of girls are getting shit on, and the other guys in the lobby, or even if they're other girls, other guys in the lobby aren't saying anything and are just validating his point. And in my opinion, these guys are just pussies. Maybe they don't have a mic, or maybe they don't want to speak up because they're too scared as well. But that's just part of the problem, in my opinion. And in my opinion, this isn't just an individual culture problem. This isn't just a one-person problem. This is a whole gaming culture problem, which needs to be changed. If you only take one thing away from this video, this will be it. And that's, if you're a bystander playing an online game and you hear or see this type of toxicity, I strongly urge you to step up and say what needs to be said. Try your best to tell them that it's not the right thing to do. Don't just say, hey dude, she gets this enough, leave her alone. Like, that's not helping. Hey, you're being really rude right now, and you should shut up because you're treating this person unfairly. Obviously, that sounds like the typical, like, bullying, like, hey, just say no, like, you can say it however you want. That's probably the nicest way you could say it. But you can say it however you want. In my opinion, you can go full ham on this guy if you want to. Just say it how you say it. Just say it how you want to say it. Just go in on him. If you're a bystander in a game, and you're just sitting there because you don't want to be seen as a simp or white knight, you're just an idiot. You're as bad as the guy being toxic. The definition of simp is taken way out of context. The girl is being treated unfairly. And let's step away from girls here, right? Let's say guys as well. Let's say guys are getting shit on by another guy. It's a 1v1 or a 1v1 with a girl, right? By you stepping up and telling him what you believe, you are not simping whatsoever. They are being treated unfairly. And you need to step in to attempt to stop the situation. But listen, obviously, you guys are gonna, oh, that's not gonna work, he's just gonna be toxic next game. Yeah, sure. He can be toxic all he wants. But maybe if we actually have people that go into games and stop this behavior before it gets too crazy, or maybe mitigate the behavior, or maybe call it out and see what happens, or we call it out and we prove to this guy that he's in the wrong. Maybe even if he doesn't believe it, maybe he goes to sleep that night and he's like, holy shit, maybe I was wrong. And maybe that won't happen. Maybe that's only a 1% chance, but at least we can try. And by you sitting there as a bystander and not saying anything, and not stepping up and talking and putting your opinion in and backing up the girl or the guy that's getting harassed, that's as bad as initiating it, in my opinion. If you're just sitting there, you're just validating what they're saying, which is fucked. A lot of gamers, the typical gamer, plays a game because it is an escape from the real world. Not everyone feels like this, but I know a lot of gamers get on their PC or their PS4 or whatever. They play games because it's comfortable. They feel comfortable there, right? If girls are getting harassed in real life and getting shit towards them, and they want to escape from the harsh world, where do they go? They can't game and play online games because they're just going to get the same shit towards them again. The only way to mitigate this is by not playing an online game, or just to not talk, which is fucked, because if you don't talk in an online game, what's the fun, right? Obviously, you can still have fun. I'm not saying that you can't have fun at all, but imagine not being able to talk and being restricted from talking. So what can girls do or say to combat or treat this behavior? So as I said earlier, call them out, say what you believe, tell them how you really feel, don't hold anything back, say it straight to their face. You are the one that needs to step up and tell them that they are wrong. Obviously, not all girls feel comfortable doing this, and not all guys feel comfortable doing it either, right? Which is unlucky, which I hope people learn the skill to do, because it really does help in online gaming. I would still try your best to turn on your mic, really. I really would, because sometimes there are going to be guys that are really nice, and maybe there's even some other girls. And obviously, if nobody else helps you in the lobby, it's kind of unlucky. Maybe you won't win it. Maybe the guy will keep being toxic. But in your eyes, you did win it, right? You did win that. You did win that battle. So to conclude, obviously this all came from the tip of to turn on your mic, which people were offended by. In my opinion, I still believe you should turn on your mic every time. As a girl and a guy. Obviously girls, it's going to be a lot harder. I understand that. But I think you should definitely still turn on your mic. Feel out your teammates. If they are being toxic, you can play with them, you can talk to them. You can try your best to talk them down and see what happens. That's completely up to you. If you're not feeling it, just mute them all. Done. And you can still com to the team, right? You can still be like, oh, you know, he's on here, he's here, whatever. Whatever comms you need to do inside the game, and you can still have everyone muted. That's completely fine. You're not going to get banned for that, and you're completely in the right there. I think that's completely fine. But if you sense toxicity, I think it is fair. I think it is fair to do that. Obviously, you need to actually sense it and see it a little bit. You can't just be like, nah, this guy sounds toxic just from his voice. Like, that's just stupid. But, you know, you should at least try your best to see what happens. You can use text chat in-game if your game does have that, or pings. I know you can ping stuff on the map on Valorant and CS. Just try and help out the team as much as possible if you're not going to have your mic on. So in summary, to finish this all up, this has been a long-ass video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, but I'm going to summarize this real quick. In my opinion, if you can't handle toxicity, you shouldn't be playing games. You honestly shouldn't be on social media in general. If you can't handle simple toxicity, it's going to happen. No, we're not going to solve toxicity. And even in my opinion, like, sometimes I am toxic a little bit. But everyone's a little bit toxic. Some people are so wholesome, it's ridiculous. But everyone can be a little bit toxic. I think it's completely fine. You know, being toxic it brings out the competitive side in you. But that's not the harsh toxicity that we've been talking about in this video. If we're talking about harsh toxicity, that's just unlucky. It doesn't happen every game. Hopefully it doesn't. I know it doesn't happen every game, so don't lie. Yeah, as I said, the whole reason I started all this was a tip to turn on your mic, which I completely still stand by. In competitive games, it is essential to keep your mic on and talk. If you really don't want to turn on your mic ever, or you don't have a mic, please just don't play competitive. Like, seriously. Even though it's just a game, it is what it is, but people actually care about their rank, and they're actually, like, if you're at a high level, I would be very surprised if you don't use your mic if you're at a high level. I'm not gonna lie. You can ping at low ranks, platinum below, I think it's fine. But obviously, if you get to those high ranks, Immortal, Diamond, Immortal, Radiant, those people want to go pro. Some of those people want to go pro, and if you're not talking in-game, you're just hindering their chance of going pro. And obviously that sounds dumb and all, but I think it's completely legitimate and reasonable. As I said, if you don't want to turn on your mic because you're insecure, or you don't want to talk to random strangers, that is your choice. In my opinion, they're just random strangers, they're behind a screen, you can say whatever the fuck what you want, you're not going to see them ever again, but that's your choice. Even though everyone isn't going to change, and toxicity isn't going to get eliminated, you can make a difference. Speak up when you hear someone getting flamed in text chat or voice chat. Speak up for what you think and what you know is right. And just quickly, if you have any problems with what I'd said today, or if you have anything to tell me, please join my Discord. The link is in the description. I would love to have people on stream or even talk in private about this topic. So make sure to use the link in the description to join the Discord.